Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because this story is moving faster than a caffeine-loaded reporter on deadline. The United States House of Representatives is rocketing toward a vote that millions of Americans have been demanding for years, releasing the infamous, long-buried, and extremely radioactive Epstein files. These documents have lived behind more locked doors than a Las Vegas vault, but now Congress is gearing up to crack it open. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this breakdown, because the political tension around this thing is tighter than a guitar string about to snap. The first major piece of this unfolding drama is the speed, yes, the speed with which the House is now moving. After months of dodging, stalling, sidestepping, and political duck-and-cover tactics, lawmakers have finally been forced into action by a discharge petition that crossed the 218-signature threshold. That means, in plain American English, Congress doesn't get to hide from this vote anymore. No more delays, no more, let's revisit this next month. None of that. The House must now move forward and schedule a vote to release the Epstein files. And this shift didn't happen by accident. It happened because public pressure hit a boiling point. When the public gets loud enough, even Washington has to stop scrolling and pay attention. But the big question is, what exactly are they voting to release? That brings us straight into Fact 2. Now, this is where things get spicy. These files aren't just some dusty stack of office memos. We're talking potentially thousands of documents, emails, internal communications, flight logs, names, interactions, and details connected to Epstein's long-running sex trafficking network. Some lawmakers say the files could expose high-level individuals who have never faced public scrutiny. Others insist the public deserves transparency, period. And let's be real. People have been speculating for years about who shows up in these records, so the demand to see them is high sky. These files may contain the kind of information that shifts public opinion, political careers, legal actions, or all of the above. And when the stakes are that high, you know the political fight behind the scenes is even higher. On to Fact 3. Before this vote gained momentum, leadership tried everything short of pulling the fire alarm to stall it. We saw early adjournments, procedural obstacles, and multiple attempts to frame these delays as protecting privacy or preserving legal integrity. But let's be honest, this fight hasn't been subtle. Some leaders look like they were doing political gymnastics trying to keep this vote off the floor. Certain committees dragged their feet, the White House said pretty much nothing, and only a handful of lawmakers publicly pushed for transparency from day one. Meanwhile, the public became increasingly suspicious, wondering if these delays were about protecting victims or about protecting powerful people. And what happens if the vote finally breaks through those barriers? That leads right into Fact 4. If this vote passes, and that's a big if, the Department of Justice would be legally forced to release the Epstein files in full, with extremely limited redactions. That would blow the lid off a case that has hovered over American politics for years like a storm cloud. We could see new investigations, new questions, new accountability, and potentially new legal consequences. Now, what if the vote fails? Oh boy, that's an entirely different storm. A failure would send a message that Congress isn't really interested in transparency. That could spark national outrage, more pressure on lawmakers, and possibly even lawsuits demanding public access. But the truth is, no matter which way this thing goes, it affects more than just the political elite. Fact 5 explains why. At the end of the day, this entire situation is about more than one criminal, more than one scandal, and more than one vote. It's about whether powerful people can remain untouchable simply because they have money, influence, or connections. It's about whether institutions actually serve the public or whether they serve themselves. Americans from coast to coast, New York to California, Chicago to Miami, are tired of secrets, tired of double standards, and tired of criminal networks hiding behind politics. When files like these stay buried, trust in government sinks. When light shines on them, accountability rises. That's why this vote matters to everyone. And now let's wrap it up with one last push. If this breakdown opened your eyes, hit that like button like you mean it. Subscribe to Global Pulse News so you never miss high-energy news with real impact. And drop a comment. Do you think those files will actually be released, or will Congress pull another last-minute stunt? And hey, show some love to our sister channels for kids content, Sparkling Kids and Raymafatima. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's grow together as one digital family.